Okay, now let's talk about the front line. This is working with folks who are sort of dealing with patients, who are working, in between different departments. Why is it so important to observe and listen to the frontline staff?
Because that's where it all begins. Like the amount of disaster that happens in the back depends on that. And I like to see, how are they verifying insurance? How are they updating demographics? What's the script? A lot of it's, how do they say things? And then collecting copays and deductibles and collecting on balances. So what I often hear is, and see, are people saying, has anything changed with your insurance information? And they'll say no. No, it hasn't changed. I mean, they may have changed from one Anthem policy to another, but in their mind, they still have Anthem. So that one makes me cringe. I still hear it, but that's the one that's like, my staff years ago when I managed, it got to be a joke, but I would go around and just ask them, how do you say, what do you do when you want to ask for a copay? They'll go, cash, check, or credit card. Exactly. And I throw them a piece of candy, but they used to say, would you like to pay? Well, that's a yes or no question. You don't say, would you like to pay today? It's cash, check, or credit card. So sometimes they make it harder on themselves, right? If they have the right way to approach, that the patient isn't feeling like, hey, you're just after my money. You want them to understand that thoroughness matters for them too. Like for another example, and I got this one from a client recently, where the front line is checking somebody in at the ER for a severed finger, and they say, okay, you're here for an injury. Yep. Can I have your insurance? Here it is. Didn't even ask, is this work related? Or how did this happen? That right there is going to cost the back, I don't know, I can't say hours, but it's going to cost them multiple touches, multiple, investigation. They're going to have to research, return the money to the health insurance side, refile it to the worker comp side after they chase down an injury report and verify it, call the claims adjuster. You don't want to go through all of that, but something that simple. So you have to create, kind of tool, I don't know, reference sheets. First educate, let them know the importance of all these things. And the only way they're going to really feel what it's doing to the back is let them get a taste of it, right? Because they really do think it's all right if I don't get it, the back will. And I've had that just recently said to me, oh yeah, they think we're gonna track it down. They're not worried about it. But I would make suggestions of, give a batch of denied claims for patient not covered, or this is not the primary, this is secondary, and give that to, a frontline person, pull them off the front for an hour and say, you will call these today. You will call the patient, or you will look them up on the portal, get me the right insurance information, update it, and let me know when you're done. That really gives them a day, walk in their shoes kind of moment. So there are those kind of things to do. And they honestly don't have an idea. They're not being purposefully lazy. Some of them, not purposefully lazy. Now, I had to add that because I do see front desk people on their cell phones. Drives me nuts. It's like, what? I have something for you to do. You can call patients about their insurance if you have time to be on your cell phone.
Yeah.
But there's just not enough. You just can't waste time. There's too much things to do to not waste time.
Yeah.
And even if it's learning, you teach them, have a little cheat sheet. If it's this, it's always primary. If it's Medicaid, it's always payer of last resort. You teach them, they would appreciate it, actually. And I haven't even talked about the collecting, of balances. I've had them say, just if they say, well, most of them don't even address it. They're not comfortable, and there's reasons for that. That's another session. But if they do address it and the patient says, I don't have it, I can't pay it today, they're like, okay, well, we'll just send you a bill.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they're comfortable doing. And I don't blame them. There's ways to make it less uncomfortable. So the front line's everything.
Yeah, that's a lot of good information and a lot of good scenarios. And I think every revenue cycle director who's staring at their denials that just sort of won't go away, self-inflicted, avoidable denials, they are well aware of this. I love your suggestion of the walk in their own shoes. Do you find that there is tension between the frontline and the back office rev cycle staff?
Yes, there is, because the front line, in their defense, they would say, we've got all these people checking in. You expect us to, like, get all this information. This one's struggling because she's in pain. This one, is with an adult daughter who's trying to get the information out of her dad's billfold and try to make it happen, while the line's getting longer and the physician's getting backed up because I'm still over here trying to check them in. So there is, that agony of balancing the need to get them seen quickly and the need to get that information. There's ways to do that. A little trick I used to use. It's like, well, you're going to have to get it when they come out, after they know we care about their injury first. You get it on the way out. Well, if you say that, they're already checked out and gone, and you didn't know that they were already done. But we would create these, hard pocket folders that says return to desk, return to the front. They're not going to leave with it because they're holding something. Because used to, they would give them a little slip that says, please stop at the checkout. Well, that would go in somebody's purse, and they'd still leave. But there's just mechanisms you can put in place to kind of help with both, needing to get them seen, but not let them escape completely out the door.
Yeah.
But yes, the front and the back. So that's what they would say. They would say, have them sit up here for a day and see what it's like. Right.
Yeah.
I have done that. I have had them cover during lunch. Like, you sit up there and cover during lunch, and they're more than happy to go. Is lunch over? Because I'm done up here. I don't want to do this anymore. It really is helpful for people to role switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestions and observations there. A lot of behavioral psychology involved in sort of optimizing the front line. Well, we covered a lot today. Thank you very much, Frances. We'll look forward to digging into more scenarios, more real world tricks and tips that you've learned in your years of consulting. Thank you again.
You're welcome.